Alright, so I thought we'd play a nice fun game called What's in My Box. So here we have my box. We also have this little pouch, but what's in my pouch is not as fun as what's in my box. So I'm going to open this stuff. Ordered some things. Some of it's actually for the Beyonce and not for me, but I thought I might as well just show you. So the first thing is something I already mentioned the other day. So this is The Last of Us for PS4. This is the remastered edition. Heard really great things about this game. Now, I never played this just because I kind of ditched PS3 before this came out, so I didn't really have a lot of time to actually play it. But now that it's out at PS4 and there's not really many games out, I thought I'd go ahead and pick this up. So I went ahead and bought this, and I hardly ever buy games when they first come out just because I'm cheap like that and I don't want to spend $50 on a game that I'm probably only going to play for like 2 weeks or so. But again, I've heard good enough things about this that I decided to pick it up on launch, which was today, so Amazon did a great job of delivering it on the day it was available. Now next I'm going to open my box. So first of all, get all the assumptions in your mind of what's in my box. We're going to open this. I'm going to do it ghetto-ways with my keys. Although Amazon typically makes it very easy with this tape to open. So there's a couple things in here, only one of which is for me, I believe. The rest is for the Beyonce. So the first things first, I got one of these backup pluses for Mac from Seagate. It's a 4 terabyte, as you can see, external hard drive. I need this just because I'm running out of space on my main computer. I only have a 1 terabyte internal drive, which I could probably change out pretty easily, and a 1 terabyte external drive. However, that's more of a portable one, so it's just powered by USB. And the downside of that is they don't get very big. And all about that size, baby. I need that 4 terabytes. So this is going to be good only because I don't really save any of the video files that I use. Pretty much just upload them and delete everything, which is good because it saves space. But the downside is if I ever want to reference that old footage, I basically have to re-download my YouTube videos and just chop it up and kind of lose some quality, not to mention I don't have all the options as far as editing them. So I'm going to try to hold on to some of them, and this is going to help. Now, as far as for the Beyonce, she got this book. I have no idea what it is, but it looks like it's called The One and Only, and so I guess this is an autobiography about myself, about how great I am. Campbell Fitness. Perhaps? No? What does this person look like? Oh, hey, maybe this could be worth reading. I don't know. Nice job. So I got this book for her. She said she wanted it, so I ordered it, and she also wanted these little guys. Oh, look at that. Toning wrist weights. So I think these are 2 pounds each. Let me see if I can do a quick unboxing of these. They're sealed, but I'm going to open them, and she knows I got them for her because she told me exactly what she wanted. But I think she wants to use these when she walks and stuff just as some added resistance. However, maybe I can do a surprise and imagine fapping with this thing. Get all kinds of forearm gains. So you guys have been asking about how you could increase the size of your forearms. Just do some fapping, or if you want to keep it family friendly, some shake weight. So this is just some added resistance. So I got this for her as well. I'm a good, I was gonna say boyfriend, but I'm not a boyfriend. I'm a good Beyonce to her as well. So the Beyonce is gonna be happy with those things. I'm happy because I got my hard drive and I got my PlayStation game. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop this in and play me some of that. Shout out to anyone who knows what that saying is from. If you do know, leave it in the comment section below. Many of you probably won't because you probably don't watch the channel. So we'll check in with you soon. Alright everybody, so back in the car outside of the gym. I actually just got finished shooting a promo for the video you probably saw right before this one, which was the Richard the Ant Hawthorne video. So big thanks to him for doing that video for me. I figure in my time of need, aka I'm looking like a little bitch these days, and I'm not really pushing too much weight because I'm coming off of an off-week deload and I'm easing my way into this new program. I might as well get somebody who actually lifts and lifts a lot. So I think I mentioned it in the video. He lifts like 11 times his body weight as far as his powerlifting total goes, so he's a beast, so I appreciate that. And now that I think of it, the whole shooting a promo thing is kind of funny because I always think of old school WWF, yes, WWF, and not WWE, because that's when shit was still legit. All those old school promos that people used to cut and how awesome they were. And now that I think of that too, going off on a tangent, you guys kind of get to see how my mind works. It's funny that I'm thinking of WWF and stuff because it reminds me a lot of Big J actually. So you guys probably seen Big J's Extreme Fitness. I don't know why you wouldn't have. Him and I are pretty good friends and we talk all the time, both through YouTube and through text. And it's funny because anytime I read something he writes, for some reason I always read it with a Hulk Hogan accent. Like, yeah, brother,
So I don't know if that's just me or what, but he just puts off that vibe and it makes me laugh, and I honestly can't read anything from him and not think of that. So that is what it is. So now that I'm kind of off on this weird tangent, I should probably go to the gym, which is, you know, for me is probably about 5 feet from where I am right now. So I'm gonna go get to lifting and we'll see you guys inside.
Alright, so because this video is already pretty long, I'm just going to show you some clips from the workout. In this case, only the first actual working set of each one. And the first thing you're seeing is incline dumbbell bench press. And I did 4 sets of 20. Yes, 20 reps. That's a hell of a lot of reps. Of just 65 pounds. So I kept the weight static. These are really to just get a good pump and a burnout, as Mike says. So don't go overly heavy, only because doing 4 sets of 20 is a lot of freaking reps and you would definitely burn yourself out. At least I found that to be the case the first time I did this. So this time around, just kept it at 65 pounds. From there, we moved on to 6 sets of 6 for the Spoto Press, and this is the first time that I've done this, and Johnny Candido is very big on this too. But basically you come down and you pause about an inch off your chest, and this is really going to help kind of control the weight down so you're not using a lot of momentum. With this too, what I found is I was actually tucking my elbows in more than I usually do, and it's tough to see from this angle, but definitely felt like I was tucking more. These felt pretty good. Did 4 sets with 245, then the last 2 could only use 225 because my ass was pretty burnt out. From there, we moved on to seated shoulder dumbbell presses, anywhere between 8 to 12 reps, and then he had me superset in a rear delt movement. In this case, I did rear delt flies on the pec deck machine, so reverse pec deck. I didn't record those only because the other room was extremely busy, but we did 4 sets of that. We then did another 4 sets of another superset, so lying incline dumbbell tricep extensions. This is one of my favorite exercises for triceps. You can see I'm sitting on my foot, and the reason I do that is so I get more clearance behind. But this is probably my favorite tricep exercise, so if you haven't given this a go, definitely try. Get it? Try. And we're talking about triceps. Oh, goddamn, I am so fucking funny. I apologize in advance. But from here, after this, we immediately got a little bit ahead of myself. We immediately moved on to close grip push-ups. So for this, he just says go for a burnout until you get close to failure. So I believe this is the first set here, and I think I got 12. I just adjusted the camera and took my sweet ass time, even though it was probably about 2 feet away, only because my triceps were already feeling it. Then did some close grip, and in this it might actually look like I have some triceps, so just trying to get a good pump going. So these are all new things to me. But that was the workout for the day. Again, 4 sets of this. Follow me in Fitocracy if you want to see everything more in depth.
All right, so welcome back everybody. In the car outside of the gym, which you guys probably can't see because it's actually pretty sunny out. I actually just finished my workout, and I'm gonna show you this before the clips only because that's what I normally do, and I'm kind of anal when it comes to that kind of thing. But had squats today, lower body today. The first time we really went heavy. Spoiler alert, it actually went fairly well in my opinion. Of course, I will leave it up to you and the depth judges, and probably always say I go a little bit shallow, but I'm always striving to get as deep as I can. But I actually thought it went pretty well today. I'm also rocking, you guys really can't tell, but I posted this on Instagram the other day, this bodybuilder nutrition facts from Brandon Wells, one of my good friends, B-Dub Prep. I'll link him in the description box below. But thanks for the shirt, boss man. I really appreciate it. But like I said, fairly good workout. Feels good to actually get back under the bar with some somewhat heavy weight. I know it's gonna take me a while to get back to where I was, but things are feeling a lot better. My knees, my hips, specifically also my wrist that I was dealing with some tendonitis. Things felt very well, but I'm gonna go ahead and shut up only because I'm probably taking up all the commentary that I'm going to have because I'm only going to show you the 6 sets of working squats that I did, and it's going to take a while because there are some pause reps thrown in there. So again, spoiler alert. So let's get to the clips.
All right, so as already stated, I did squats this day, and again, it was 6 sets of 3 reps each. And again, to kind of better explain what I meant by the pause and the speed, each actual set had 2 pause reps, which you're seeing right here, and I'm using 405 pounds, which is the heaviest I've gone in a very long time. Trying to sit here, and I feel like my depth is pretty good on this, at least better than it's been. And then the last actual rep is more of a speed rep. And again, these felt pretty good. So all I recorded for this particular day was all 6 sets of squats, just because the other things I had to do weren't really too interesting, at least in my opinion. And I was really curious to kind of see my depth and how things have gone since I came back from a long layoff. And I really found that my knees feel better, my hips feel better, my wrist feels a lot better. Everything just feels a little bit better. I also felt this a lot more in my hamstrings than I normally do, which is a good sign because maybe that means that I wasn't using them as well as I could have before. Another thing that I've been finding with my squats is my knees pushing out seem to go a lot better.
I know previously looking at certain angles of this, my knees had a tendency to come in a little early. In these cases, from what I can see at least with the pause and the speed reps, I do a good job of keeping them out longer. Again, it's something I'm still going to work on. One of the other things I'm probably going to need to work on is on my speed sets, or the third rep of these. I kind of have the tendency to lean a little bit too far forward, at least in my opinion, almost Lane Norton-ish with squats. So some say Lane Norton does more of good mornings than he does squats, but I think I have a little bit of that same issue, and I think it's more because of the speed that I'm not really bracing my core probably as good as I need to. The interesting thing also about all these different angles I'm showing you is depending which angle you're looking at, sometimes my depth looks a lot better and sometimes it looks a lot worse. In this case, I like it a lot because you can actually see the top of my knees when I go all the way down. You also maybe be able to see it if you're not too busy staring at my white man ass, so that big old round booty. I'm working on it. Need to get some meat back there. You can see my non-existent calves as well in here, but at least I did you the favor by covering most of them up with the knee sleeves and the socks, so you only have to deal with 4 inches of pain, which is a lot more than my girlfriend has to deal with, but that's another story. So there's a sexual innuendo. I haven't really had a lot in this video, although now that I think about it, the first clip, which was filmed a couple days ago, is actually one big sexual innuendo. So maybe I misspoke. But anyways, you're seeing the rest of my sets here. I'm probably going to go ahead and shut up, only because you can see exactly for what it is, and I think I've commentated enough on this considering we have 6 clips of squats. But this is my last one, and then we'll get to some other pressing news right after this. All right, so I wanted to take some time to end this video to share some feels, only because I feel like we've been getting a little bit away from that. So in this video, you've already seen what's in my box. You've seen me in the gym training, which surprisingly enough, some people also call a box. But I also wanted to sit down and just kind of, like I said, share some feels, because I feel like we haven't had the opportunity to do this lately. I feel like we're growing apart, and I want to bring it back in. Now, as part of that, to give you some kind of context for what I'm about to say, I will let you know that I talk to a lot of other YouTubers offline, whether it be through text, phone calls, video chats, or even Snapchats in some cases. Just kidding, I'm too old for Snapchat. But as part of that, one of the people that I talk to on a very frequent basis is Cory from Cory Fitness, or Lean Body Lifestyle, however you're more familiar with him, which, by the way, you'll be able to find his channel linked in the description box below as well. But him and I talk on a very often basis, and one of the things we've been discussing recently, and also something that we've discussed in the past, are meal plans. So I want to just go ahead and get some stuff out there, at least give you my opinion on them. I will say I do believe he's making a video about this on Wednesday, which I think you'll see my video first, but just know that my video is actually inspired by his, so be sure to go check his out, or you can just troll him and say, why did you copy Brandon's video? And know just deep down that I'm actually copying him. I want to get that out there because I always try to give credit where credit is due. Now, that being the case, and that actually sounded bad, clearing my throat right after I said that, I'm insinuating that some other people don't. But now that I'm thinking, I could think of some other funny examples, but I'll try to be good this video, so no more shit talking on my part. But one of the things that I really don't understand is why people feel the need to pay for meal plans. And I know that's really a fruitful business for a lot of other YouTubers out there. Specifically in this case, I'm going to talk about Chris Jones, and I have nothing wrong with Chris Jones, no ill will. I love Chris in a strictly platonic way. Same thing with Vince and his 3 Mercedes. That's great for them. I think they're doing a hell of a thing. In fact, I'm very jealous of what they've been able to accomplish on YouTube. So let me get that out of the way. However, I still don't believe you guys should buy meal plans from most people. And the reason I say that is because the way that a lot of these meal plans are catered is generally just to lose weight. And I don't know if there's just some thing out there that people think it's really hard, it's a secret to lose weight. Basically speaking, as long as you have your essential macronutrients, proteins and fats, you can kind of play around with your other numbers as long as you're within a caloric deficit. Now, of course, micronutrients play a role, but we're not going to get too in-depth on this video. But the basics are just eat at a deficit and you will lose weight. So I don't really get the point of why people would pay for customized meal plans in order to do that. It's not necessarily about the exact food you eat. So I know a lot of people want specific foods to eat to lose weight. It's not about that. You're thinking of the wrong thing. You have to eat in a deficit, and just the foods that you eat make sure put you in a deficit and allow you to, again, hit your micronutrient goals. So eat your fruits, your vegetables, eat a wide variety of protein sources, carb sources. You should be good in terms of micronutrients. But the bottom line is still energy balance. Create a deficit, you will lose weight. And the thing that really kind of irks me for this is because there are meal plans out there that might be more beneficial if you're looking to compete in bodybuilding or something like that, where you're talking about getting to very low levels of body fat and simply just eating at a basic caloric surplus for weeks and weeks on end. It's still going to be very difficult to do that. Not saying it's not possible, but in those instances where you're looking to compete and come in your best overall shape, as well as time certain things so you look full for certain photo shoots or shows or competitions, however you want to do it. Maybe you're trying to meet weight for a powerlifting meet. I could see trying to get some help initially to figure out how things work. That's one of the reasons that I worked with Mark Lobliner, just because I have a lot of people that watch this channel that compete in bodybuilding. I wanted to give it a shot just to see what it was like to have somebody else coach me in that essence. I will say, however, that me and Mark worked out an agreement where I didn't pay for his services. He agreed to coach me and do my meal planning in terms of intake. So I did not eat specific meals based off him, just certain goals as far as my macros and calories go, just to see how it went. And in return, what I did is I just promoted the fact that I was working with him. So I let you guys know. I'm sure some of you contacted him for coaching services, whatever it may be. However, I still don't think I would often recommend people go with meal plans or these online plans, only because a lot of them are cookie cutter and some of them aren't. Some of them are actually planned out. But again, the basics of losing weight is so simple, I don't see a reason to do so. Especially in this case, again, Chris Jones, love you, Chris. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of hate for saying this because a lot of you guys like him. But with this, his recent plan for 200 to 230 pound women, yes, maybe some people just need a rough idea of what to eat, but honestly, as long as you eat less than what you're already eating, you will lose weight. Chances are, if you're 200 to 230 for a woman, chances are you're probably not a lot of muscle in that essence. You're probably carrying a lot of body fat, and simply eating at a deficit is going to help you reduce that amount. So it's just a really head scratcher for me that people would invest a lot of money to do this. But again, I can't really knock the people who are putting out these plans because obviously they're working. People are buying them and seeing results. But I guess to me, someone who I would consider somewhat informed, and I'm not going to say I'm the smartest person out there, there's still a lot for me to learn, but I just don't really get the point of doing so unless, again, you're looking to specifically compete or get to very low levels of body fat. And in Chris's case, I think he kind of says that he's not going to get you show ready. He's just going to get you hoe ready, which is just leaner. So there's my 2 cents. Let me know what you feel about these meal plans. Is it getting out of hand? And I know I'll probably get some backlash too because I just got done selling shirts, or you guys see some of these advertisements before my videos that I'm in, like Card Wars or Sony Action Cam. So we all have different ways to make money. What I think is better in my instance might not be better than what Chris is doing in his opinion, or anyone else who's selling meal plans, because they are helping people. They are getting them leaner. But in my honest opinion, it's just not worth the price. So let me know how you feel about it. If you don't like me because I said that, you think I'm talking shit against Chris, I'm not, obviously. I feel confident enough just to come out and say what I have to say and drop names. Not trying to pull any punches, but that's the way it is. But I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of dislikes this video. Unless, of course, you want to be really nice and just like the video. I don't normally beg for likes, max tuning. But that's 2 max references in this piece, which means it's time for me to be done. So that's it. We're going to end the video. In the meantime, as always, thanks for watching and stay big. Cue that mother outro.